Hello everyone, welcome to my class. I hope you all are fine. Today I'm going to start with the new concept in your planning chapter, that is planning process. Planning is not an event but it is a process consisting of many steps. The first one is setting objectives. Second one, developing premises. Third one, identifying alternative course of action. Next one is evaluating alternative. The next one is selecting an alternative. Sixth one is implementation of plan. And the last one is follow action. So these are all the important process of planning function. The first one is setting objective, second one is developing premises, third one is identifying alternative course of action, fourth one is evaluating alternative, fifth one is selecting an alternative, sixth one is implementation of plan, and the last one is follow-up action. So let me start with the first process of planning function, that is setting objectives. The first and foremost step is setting objectives. So every organizations must have certain objectives, right? So objective may be set for entire organizations as well as for each department in an organization. So while setting objectives, so we have to consider certain points. The first one is our objective should be measurable. First one is our objective should be measurable. The second one is it should be clearly specified. Objective should be clearly specified. Third one is controllable. Our objective should be controllable in nature. Controllable in the sense it should be there in our hand. We can change, we can modify, we can alter it however I want. So these are the important points we need to consider while setting objectives in an organization. That is the first step or first process. Second one is developing premises. So premises in the sense possibilities, right? So the assumptions or the ideas about the future. Since business environment is uncertainties, we can't predict what will happen in future. So the planner has to assume something that what we're gonna do in future. So that assumptions or that possibilities or that ideas we call it as developing premises. So we have to develop the uncertainties, we have to develop certain possibilities that what might gonna happen in our future, right? So that is a second process. Third one is identifying alternative course of action. So once objectives are set, once assumptions are made, the next step is we have to identify the different alternatives in order to achieve the organizational goals and objectives, right? So in order to achieve the goals and objectives, we have to identify the different alternatives. So the first one is either we can go with adding more number of product to the customers, right? If I add more number of product, so obviously we can reach n number of customers. Second one is either I can go for offering discounts, right? So if I give any kind of discounts, that will attract large number of customers. So these kinds of alternatives we have to identify in the second or in the in third process of planning function. Okay, and the fourth one is evaluating alternative. So evaluating after means after making a list of alternative, the manager evaluate each and every alternative, because we can't blindly select all the alternatives. So we have to check whether it will give positive result or negative result. We have to note down each positive and negative impact to the organizations, and we have to cross check all the alternatives. So that is called evaluating alternative. Next one is selecting an alternative. So in these steps, so we gonna select the best alternative, which is most feasible, which is most profitable, and which is least negative should be considered, right? Sometimes I can choose the best one among those alternatives, or I can go with combination of different alternatives can also be selected. It depends on situations and circumstances. So that is called as selecting an alternative. Next one is implementation of plans. So in these steps, the plans putting actions, right, or implementing the plans means that we gonna convert all those plans into actions. So here we have to communicate, or the manager should communicate those plans with the employees, because employees is the one who will convert all those plans into action. He is the one who will work in an organization. The manager will support him. He will give some guidance, or he will give some directions how we gonna complete all kinds of works in an organization. But ultimately it is a duty of the employees that he should complete all kinds of goals and objectives. So in order to completion of all kinds of goals and objectives, he should convey all his plans to the employees. That is called as implementation of plans. And the last one is follow-up action. So follow-up action means monitoring the plan constantly and taking feedback at regular intervals. So we have to check whether we are going the right way or not. So we have to take feedback from employees, we have to take feedback from customers and all, right? So if we follow all those kinds of feedback or all kinds of directions or suggestions, then only we can reach the higher level, we can earn more number of profit that leads to survive for longer period of time. So these are the important process of planning function. So once again I will repeat, the first one is setting objectives. So in that we have to set the objectives, right? Second one is developing premises. So premises means we have to identify, we have to develop the future uncertainties, we have to develop the future ideas or assumptions, right? And in third function, or in the third process, we have to identify the different alternatives where we can achieve the goals and objectives. And the fourth one is we have to evaluate each and every alternative. And in fifth one, we have to select the best alternative among those alternatives. And in the sixth one, we have to convert the plans into actions while convey the ideas with the employees. And the last one is we have to check all the actions are taking place in a good manner or not. So this is all about process of planning functions. So let us take an example in order to understanding you guys. The first one is setting objective. For example, ABC company. So they plan to earn 10 lakhs of profit. So that is their objective, right? So ABC company, they plan to earn 10 lakhs of profit for upcoming year. So that we call it as setting objective. And the second one is developing premises. So in order to earn 10 lakhs of profit, they have to assume about the future uncertainties or risk or losses, right? So those assumptions we call it as developing premises. And the third one is identifying alternative courses of actions, right? So here they should identify the different alternatives or different ways how I can earn 10 lakhs of profit. For example, if I diversify my business activities that leads to 10 lakhs of profit or not, or if I give more number of discounts to the customers, that will attract large number of customers, and because of that, so I can earn 10 lakhs of profit. So these kinds of alternatives we have to identify in third one. And in fourth one, so we have to choose the, or we have to evaluate the alternative. For example, offering discount that will be best or suitable for or not, right? So we have to check, right? Next one is either I can reduce the cost of production. So that is also one kind of alternative where I can implement in our business organizations. So we have to evaluate each and every alternatives, and we have to note down all positive and negative impact from that. Next one is selecting an alternative. So here I am gonna select the best one. For example, if I select offering discount, so from today onwards I'll give more number of discounts to my customers. So I have to plan, right? So that is called as selecting an alternative. So I have to select that one. And the sixth one is implementation of plans. Here I have to convey all the ideas to my employees. So I have to tell my employees, I have to tell my shareholders, I have to tell my customers, right? So from today onwards, so I'll give more number of discounts, right? While giving advertisement or while published in a newspaper or magazines, I can attract large number of customers. That is called implementation of plans. So why we gonna implement? Because in order to attract the employees, in order to attract the customers, in order to attract the shareholders, as well as for all of them. And the last one is follow-up action. Here we have to check whether we are going in the right way, whether our planning is going in a good way or not. So this is all about the important planning process. Okay, thank you.